Today we're doing Module 2, Lesson 5. Our objective is to solve word problems involving time intervals within 1 hour by adding and subtracting on the number line. The materials needed for today are your online whiteboard or your whiteboard dry erase marker and dry eraser. We'll continue to follow the teaching style where I do it, we do it together, and you do it on your own. First, we're going to start with some fluency. We're going to be starting at the 12 and counting by 5 minutes on the clock because we know each of these big numbers represents a 5-minute interval. Here we go. Ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 60 minutes to get all the way around the clock, which we also know is the same as 1 hour. Now I'm going to show you a time on a clock. You're going to message me that time and go Guardian once you have it. Here's the first clock. Go ahead and message me the time when you have it. Remember, the shorthand represents the hour, and the longhand represents the minute. So you write your number, and then you'll do semicolon, and then your other number. So this is the hour, and this is the minute. Okay, so the hour goes first, which is the shorthand, and then the minute, which is the longhand. So I'm just going to write short, long. Okay, so the time we have, as you can see, the hour hand, which is the shorthand, is pointing right here after the 5. And we know anything between the 5 and the 6 is all going to be 5 o'clock. Okay, until it hits that 6. So that means our hour is 5. And our minute seems to be pointing to this line right here. Okay, so first we're going to count by 5s and then 1s. 5, 6, 7. So it's 5:07. Okay, and we always have to have 2 digits right here. So that's why we put the 0 before the 7. So it is 5:07. Here's your next clock. Remember, the shorthand is the minute hand. The shorthand is the hour hand. The long hand is the minute hand. And then that red one there is the second hand, which for now you don't have to worry about writing. Go ahead and message me your time and go Guardian. Okay, so as you can see, this one's a little tricky because if you look, this hour hand is almost past the 12, but it's not yet. So anything between the 11 and the 12 is going to still be 11 o'clock until it passes the 12. So it's 11. Okay, and then we can see the minute hands right here. So we're going to count by 5s and then count by 1s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, then by 1s. 51, 52, 53, 54. So right there is 54. So it is 11:54. Okay, here's your next clock. For this one, the shorthand is that red one, which is your hour. The longhand is the blue one, which is your minute. Go ahead and message me that time and go Guardian. Okay, so if you look, this hour hand is barely past that 4 there. So it is 4. And the minute hand here, let's go ahead and count by 5s. 5, 6, 7. So that's another one. 07, okay, 4:07. Here's, I believe, our not our last clock yet. Okay, go ahead, write the time, send it to me, and go Guardian. Okay, so this one, you can see our hour hand is past 10 o'clock, which means the hour is 10. Now the minute is exactly here at the 2, so let's count by 5s. 5, 10. Since we're right at the 2, we don't have to count by 1s, so the minute is 10. So the time is 10:10. Okay, this is our last one. Go ahead, message me and go Guardian with the time. Okay, so this one, it almost looks like our last clock, which was 10:10, except the hour and the minute hand have kind of switched. So this one, the hour hand actually is in front of the 2, which means it's still in that 1 o'clock range. So it's going to be 1. And now we can see that the minute hand is pointed right there at the 10. So let's count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. The time is 1:50. Okay, so now is the part where I'm going to show you how to do it, and then you're going to have a chance to do one with me. So we're doing a word problem on the number line involving time. Okay, the first thing I have here is my number line. And what I want to do is I want to label it, okay, counting by 5s. So I'm just going to go here on the bottom. I'm going to start with 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. 60 minutes equals 1 hour. Now I'm going to read my word problem. Carlos gets to class at 9:08 a.m. Okay, if he gets to class at 9:08, I know I'm working between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. So now I'm going to go up here at my 0, and I'm going to label that, if my pen will cooperate, 9 o'clock a.m. And 60 minutes, or 1 hour later, is 10 a.m. Okay. All right. So Carlos gets to class at 9:08 a.m. He has to write down homework assignments and complete morning work before math begins at 9:30 a.m. How many minutes does Carlos have to complete his tasks before math begins? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and underline 9:08 a.m. That's the time he gets to class. And I'm going to underline 9:30 a.m. That's the time that math begins, and he has to have all his stuff done. So let's see how much time he has to do it. First, let's find 9:08 a.m. So I'm going to count by 5s and then by 1s to get there. Okay. So I'm at 0, 5, and if I go to 10, I've gone too far. So I know that the 8's somewhere between that 5 and that 10. So I'm going to make my 4 hash marks, which are 6, 7, 8, 9, and then there's already a mark for 10. Now I can go back and plot my point at 9:08. So we're at 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to go ahead and plot my point there. All right, and I'm going to label that 9:08 a.m. That's when he gets to class. Okay, now math begins at 9:30, so let's find 9:30. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So that's right here exactly on the dot, which should be pretty obvious because when we skip counted by 5s, we can see that we got to 30 right there. So I'm going to label that 9:30 a.m. Okay, so now we've labeled our 2 times, but the question is how many minutes does Carlos have to complete his tasks before math begins? Okay, so we have to figure out the difference between these 2 times. So what I'm going to do, right here we're at 8, so let's get to 10, so we're at a nice even number. 1, 2. So that's 2 jumps right there. I'm just going to write down that 2. So there's 2 minutes. Now we're at 10, and I can count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20. So there's 20 more minutes until he gets to 9:30. So that's the 2 minutes to get to the 10, plus the 20 minutes to get to the 30. Well, 20 plus 2 is 22. So he has 22 minutes to write down homework assignments and complete morning work before math starts at 9:30. Okay, now I'm going to have you do one with me. I want you to start with your number line. So make your number line go all the way across your board. Okay, and you're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 hash marks on there. So draw your number line, make it as long as you can so you have room. Make 13 hash marks on it. Try to make that evenly spread out. And then you're going to start labeling them on the bottom before we even get to our problem. So 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Okay, I'm going to give you about another minute to get that up. Okay, if you're not already, you should be getting those numbers on there. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our problem. Joey gets home at 3:25 p.m. It takes him 7 minutes to unpack and 18 minutes to have a snack before starting his homework. What is the earliest time Joey can start his homework? Okay, so our first time we need to figure out is 3:25 p.m. Okay. Well, if it's 3:25, we know we're working between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and add those labels on here. For 0, that's going to be 3 o'clock p.m. And the 60 minutes, which is an hour later, is 4 o'clock p.m. Joey gets home at 3:25 p.m. Go ahead and take a minute, count by fives, and plot your point right at 3:25. Okay, so we're going to count by fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'm going to plot my point right there, and that is 3:25 p.m. So that's when he gets home. Now it takes him 7 minutes to unpack. So let's find our time 7 minutes away. First, let's count by 5. 5. Now we're going to have to count by ones, which means we're going to need those tally marks. So after 30, we need 31, 32, 33, 34, and then there's already a mark there for 35. Okay. Now we can go back and find 7, okay? We're at 5. Now we got to count by ones. 6, 7. Plot my point right there. Okay. Now we got to figure out what time that is. Well, we're at the 30, and we went 2 more. So 30, 31, 32. So that's 3:32 p.m. So he finishes unpacking at 3:32 p.m. Well, it's 18 more minutes to have his snack. So right now we're at the second dot. Let's get to an even number, okay? Let's get to one of our big hash marks. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note here where we're at 18. And we managed to hop 3 already. So we need to figure out how much more do we need to hop. Well, we're at 18. Let's take away 3. 18, 17, 16, 15. We need to hop 15 more minutes. Okay, 5, 10, 15. Plot my point, and you can see that's right there at the 50, so the time is 3:50 p.m. So what is the earliest time Joey can start his homework? The earliest time he can start is 3:50 p.m. Okay, he gets home at 3:25. It takes him 7 minutes to unpack, which puts us at 3:32 p.m. And then it takes him 18 minutes to have a snack, which brings us all the way to 3:50. So that's when he can start his homework. Okay. So you can kind of see how this is almost like just taking your 25, which is the minute that he got home. And first, we added 7 minutes. 5 plus 7 is 13. 2 plus 1 is 3. You don't have to know this. This is just a side note. That's 12. So that took us to that 32 minutes. We were at 32 minutes plus 18 more minutes. 2 plus 8 is 10. 3, 4, 5. And that took us to 50 minutes. So if you're thinking about how the addition aspect works without the number line, that's kind of how we're doing it. We're just adding the minutes up. But the number line visual really helps, so I highly recommend continuing to draw that on your whiteboard to help you solve these problems. Now we're at the part where you're going to be doing your homework alone. Okay, the IXL skill is elapsed time word problems, find the end time. So you're going to be doing word problems like we've been doing today. Go ahead and get started.